guys, so today's video is going to be a little different than usual. One of my super sweet subscribers asked me to share my advice on how to get better grades and how to study. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my advice on what I have learned over the past many years going through school. So for myself, I'm currently going into my junior year of college, which is so crazy to think about. I don't know where the time has gone, but I'm a biology major going into optometry, and an optometrist is an eye doctor. So I have many more years of schooling to go through, so I hope my tips and tricks help you guys out. So if you want to hear what I have to say, then just keep watching. My first tip is to figure out what kind of style of a learner you are. So some people are visual learners, some people prefer hearing things rather than seeing them. So for myself, I'm definitely a visual learner. I would say you're definitely going to need to experiment and try different things before you figure out what works best for you. As a visual learner, I like a lot of color, so what I use is colored pens or highlighters to mark up my notes. It really helps me stay focused and pay attention, and it also helps me just retain everything that I'm reading. I can't just read from a textbook and have it memorized. Another thing is to recopy your notes. So as soon as you're done going over like class lectures, I like to recopy my notes and organize them and highlight them. That way I can get it locked into my head. And while I'm doing that, sometimes I like to read them aloud to myself. That way I'm making sure I'm paying attention and actually focusing on what I'm reading. Another really great studying tool for visual learners is flashcards. So you can make them by hand and actually write them out, which is what I prefer to do. Or else there's also apps like Quizlet where you can use them online. A great thing about this is that you can have your friends quiz you, and then that way you know you can't just flip it over and see the answer. You actually have somebody making sure that you're testing yourself on the material. So my sister and I like to help each other do this all the time. Even if we just go through each other's notes, we like to give each other little quizzes, which makes it a lot more fun. Another way of studying is watching YouTube videos. I feel like this is one of the most helpful tools when you're done with class and you still have no idea what your teacher or professor was talking about. If you just go home and look up the topic that you were learning about, there are so many videos, and they're actually really helpful and really useful. So you can always pause them, stop them, go back. Like, you can take your time and take as long as you need to keep re-going over the material. If you prefer learning by listening, unfortunately, sometimes the professor or teacher talks too quickly and you can't keep up. So you do need permission to do this, but if your teacher or professor allows you to, you can actually record your lectures on your phone, or if you bring in an actual recorder, so that when you go home, you can always replay them if you miss something. Along with that, I feel like there are two different types of studiers. One, somebody who likes to be alone in a quiet environment, and then the other being someone who likes to work in study groups. Once again, you're going to have to try both to figure out which one you prefer. I like studying alone because if I'm with other people, I usually get so distracted and we end up talking about something off topic. But I know there are pros and cons to both. If you're working with other people, you can always have somebody explain something to you that you don't understand and also help someone else as well. But for me, that just does not work. I need to be alone in a really quiet space where I can just focus and not get distracted. Another tip I have for being successful in school is keeping yourself really organized. So if you've seen my previous organization video, you know I love using planners and a ton of notebooks. So I picked this one up at Target. It's called the Day Designer and it's super cute. What goes along with the planner is using your syllabus. So not everyone in high school gives them out, but in college you will definitely be receiving a syllabus for every class. If you don't know what that is, it's simply a piece of paper with a list of how you're going to be graded, due dates, like when tests are, presentations, everything like that. So whenever I get a new syllabus, right away I go straight to my planner and write down all the important dates so that I keep track of when things are due. Honestly, it is super easy to fall behind, so you really want to keep on top of everything. It is honestly one of the most stressful situations knowing that you have like a 20-page paper due the next day and you only have half of it done, which I did put myself in that situation once, and I hopefully have learned my lesson from that experience. I seriously was on the verge of a breakdown. So whatever you do, do not procrastinate and let yourself fall behind, because you're gonna have multiple tests on the same day, you're gonna have quizzes and papers due, and honestly it just adds up very quickly. If you are in high school where they do require homework, or college where your professor still requires homework, I definitely recommend doing the work yourself. I know it's so much easier just to copy a friend if they're willing to help you out, but really you're only hurting yourself because you're not going to know the material when it comes to the exam. Another thing I recommend, whether you're in college or high school, is to ask your teacher or professor questions or go to their office hours. Going to them with concerns and questions shows them that you actually care about your grade and you actually care about how you're doing in their class, and they will totally respect that. I know school is a ton of hard work and it could be really discouraging, but I think one of the best things to do when you're freaking out, wondering like, why am I doing this anymore? Or like, what's the point? You have to think about why you're doing it. Like, what is your main goal? So for me, I'm thinking, oh, I want to become an eye doctor. So I need to pass these courses to get closer to that step. So whatever your goal is, keep that in mind, and it should help motivate you to keep pushing yourself and work harder and get good grades so you make sure you get to where you want to be. The next few things are just ways to feel more comfortable and get used to your new school or new environment, especially if you're new to high school. One of the best things I did was join cross country and track. And then I also joined band. So those were definitely the best ways I made my closest friends, and it made me feel so much more comfortable and like a part of the school. So when you're new and you're walking through the halls, that way you see upperclassmen and new friends that you can actually relate to and have someone to say hi to. And also the upperclassmen will definitely help you out getting used to the new school and show you the ways around. Okay, so those are some of my tips on how to study and be successful in school. Most of all, just enjoy your time in high school and college because it goes by so fast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and good luck in your new school year. Bye!